In this video, I am going to explain interesting anatomy around the coccyx and myofascial connection. This is around sacrum and coccyx. I want you to focus on nervous tissue inside of spines. You see there are a lot of nervous tissues inside of spine, right? Then surprisingly, there is nervous tissue kind of emerging from sacrum and it kind of bifurcates here. You don't see that in this picture, but imagine there is a nervous tissue around the coccyx and the inferior part of sacrum. This nervous tissue is called coccygeal nerve. Coccygeal nerve. Indeed, this nerve is around coccyx. Makes sense. But interesting is this nerve emerges from sacrum. Okay, that means this is outside. I said there is nervous tissues inside of spines. And of course there's nervous tissues inside of sacrum. Coccygeal nerve emerges from sacrum. This is outside. Inside to outside. What can I say? So if you got an injury around the coccyx and if your coccygeal nerve got tension, maybe this tension can go up. That means inside of sacrum, inside of lumbar spines. That's very interesting thing. Outside restriction, outside tension may affect for inside. Why is that? Because coccygeal nerve emerges from sacrum. This is outside. There's nervous tissues inside of sacrum and lumbar spines. Do you see this outside-inside relationship? Then I want to add one more thing. You don't see that structure in this picture as well. There is connective tissue elongation from inside of lumbar spines and sacrum. It's like this. This purple color indicates a connective tissue. This is a dura mater elongation. Dura mater. Dura mater is membrane around brain and spinal cord. There's a membranous elongation all the way down to coccyx. Dura mater is of course inside of lumbar spines and sacrum. This elongation also emerges from sacrum and it ends at coccyx. This is outside. This is outside. And this dural connection can go to inside. Same like coccygeal nerve. If you got injury here for a dural connection, this is outside. This outside restriction may affect for inside. This is very common when I do manual therapy around the coccyx. Oftentimes, somebody's low back pain can be gone or can be decreased. I don't say this happens all the time, but if you understand this myofascial connection or nervous tissue connection, that makes sense when you treat manual therapy around here, then inside part gets better. It's very important connection. Now, this dura mater connection can go all the way up to head. Why is that? Because there is dura mater. Let's focus on head. There is dura mater inside of head as well. It's so important structure. This dura mater connection can go to cervical spines, thoracic spines, lumbar spines, sacrum, and here, coccyx. So when somebody got head trauma, this trauma can affect for spines and sacrum and coccyx because of this dura mater connection. Vice versa, if you fall on the coccyx and you got an injury here, if you follow dura mater connection, this tightness can affect for head, neck, all the way up to the head, right? But I believe, this is my subjective opinion, head trauma affects for coccyx more than the coccyx trauma for head. Does it make sense? Do you know what I mean? I mean, head trauma affects for coccyx more than coccyx affects for head. I don't know, this is just my experience. This is just my hypothesis. Because head covers brain. Brain has multiple functions, of course, and more nervous tissues compared to coccyx. So I think head trauma affects more for coccyx or rest of spines than coccyx trauma affects for head. But This is just my subjective opinion, subjective hypothesis. If you are osteopath, if you are good at manual therapy around sacrum and coccyx, please leave me a comment how you think about the effects of sacrum, coccyx for head, neck, and rest of spines. In today's video, I explain interesting anatomy around coccyx and coccygeal nerve. You can follow this nervous tissue connection for head, and you can follow connective tissue connection to the head. If you liked today's video, please hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. See you next video.